Hi everyone, my name is Mary Rains, and this is my Module 8, Leading with a Moral Compass. My resource summary, I started with all sources, so I found some common themes throughout the videos and articles. The first being, obviously, all of them said that we need to have a moral compass, we need to live with integrity. Also, all of them touched on having empathy or thinking about others when you make your decisions. The video moral compass goes into detail about having an integrity reflex. You need to know what you believe is right or wrong, so in times of pressure, basically you can automatically go with the right path that aligns with your values and your beliefs. Having a moral compass basically went on to say you need to find your line in the sand. You need to know what your values are before the dilemma. So you need to know what is negotiable, what is non-negotiable. There are also 4 things that he outlined in the video as far as what to do as in setting the tone for what you do. First thing is always put people first in your decision making. Second thing is respect individual dignity. Third is treat everyone fairly, and fourth is be honest. Moving on, Moral Emotions Concepts Unwrapped by the McCombs School of Business went into a lot of detail about basically why we make the decisions that we make. And so the first thing that it touched on was that we have developed emotions to help us live in these groups or in society, to live within societal norms. They also, after that, outlined several emotion types that help us basically choose the right path or not choose the wrong path. So the first one was the self-conscious emotions and other condemning emotions, which basically allow us to feel guilt or shame about making the wrong decisions. So this could be like an internal conflict going on with yourself where you know what you did was wrong, and so you feel shame and guilt for what you did. This could also be an external conflict. The other condemning emotions would be felt by other people. So the way other people would view what you did makes you not want to do it because you don't want anybody to know that you did something wrong. After that, they talk about praising emotions. So basically, those are the emotions that make you feel really good about making the right decision and make you feel proud about doing that. Other suffering emotions was next, and they outlined basically these emotions as like helping us connect to people. So empathy is one that they talked about. Empathy, it even said in there, can be argued as the most important human emotion. Along with that, though, when we choose to do something that's wrong, a lot of times we use kind of like a psychological device where we rationalize why it's okay to be doing the wrong thing. We also, kind of going off of empathy, can use dehumanization or making it seem so that somebody is a less of a human to be able to treat them a certain kind of way. And so those are 2 devices that we as humans use, dehumanization and rationalization. And then the video actually wrapped up basically saying that we need to make sure that we are just reflecting on this because our emotional state or our emotions come out before rationality. And so like if we have an opinion about something or if we are emotionally invested in something, we might not actually be able to take a step back and think with our heads or think rationally. And so as long as we're reflecting on that and trying to align ourselves with that, that's what this video is arguing for. Set Your Moral Compass True North was an article that basically talked about treating others with kindness. And then he even went further to say that Kindness taught him tolerance, and because he was able to tolerate people, that it also led to him viewing people as equal. Um, and then the last thing that he went over was that when making ethical decisions, your virtues should align with characteristics such as honesty, empathy, respectfulness, integrity, and responsibility. Lastly, the last article, or the second article, but the last source, was the moral compass. This basically went into like morality being at the very center of a person's character, um, and how we conduct ourselves. A person's true north is more times than not dictated by society. So this article also kind of touched on the same principles of um, set your moral compass true north. A society changes. So the difference was that this article was basically saying that because our society keeps changing and because we're growing so much in what we know and our knowledge, then how can we ever have a true north that's consistent? And so we're finding that that's actually making it a lot harder for people to making people a lot harder for people to have that true north or to know what they believe or what they value, because they're coming out with something new every day that might contradict what they're doing, or just with society being so publicized these days, then it makes it harder for people to know what is right and what is wrong. um, and so that concludes my resource summary. My moral compass looks a little bit like this. So first off, I just included some traits or characteristics that my values align with. So integrity, honesty, respect, empathy. I believe that you need all of these to be able to have that true north or to help guide your true north. And then the last thing I chose was kindness, because when in doubt, I know it sounds kind of corny, but when in doubt, choose kindness. And so I thought that was really important to include as well. I also really wanted to take it one step further because it got me thinking about what is my true north in teaching and as an educator. So I included a couple of things that, like, again, when in doubt, I align myself with these values, and then I know that I can't go wrong. So the first thing is fairness, making sure everything is fair and right, and that every kid is getting what they need in that regards. The second thing, I included a quote that I love, but I truly believe this. I think that every student can learn, just not in the same day or the same way. And so I'm always constantly trying to help those kids that need help or help certain kids grow to their fullest potential. And so essentially, what this means to me is that every kid in my class is going to come out and have grown, but also that every kid can learn. I also kind of think when I'm thinking about this quote, but that if what I am doing is best for kids, then I can't go wrong. Like if it's what is best for students, then I'm doing my job. The last thing, and this is a big one for me, but I always try to focus on this when I'm in my classroom with my kids. Basically, I believe that kids will rise to the expectations that you have for them. So I included this quote that says, high achievement always takes place in the framework of high expectations. I believe that if I really set attainable goals for my students, but that I set goals that they need to work at to get to, then I see a huge amount of growth with those students. And lastly, I really wanted to include a couple of other things that I feel like have played a huge part into my moral compass or my beliefs and values, and that is my family, which I pictured there, and also my faith as well. So if you're looking at those two things, chances are those are why I believe what I believe and why my true north is what it is. here's my reference page, and here is my addendum page. So my standard correlation was basically that these resources provided an increase in my knowledge of having a moral compass and its benefits by outlining many different perspectives of what a moral compass is. By giving me those different perspectives, it really helped me formulate exactly what they were talking about when they said moral compass, but also the benefits of it as well. Relevance. This assignment improved my understanding of moral compass and its benefits by showing multiple different perspectives, as I previously stated, and examples as to what a moral compass should have and why it is important to have one. I agree with the resources on the importance of having a moral compass and having a true north. Everyone needs help navigating life, and so I completely understand that that is how we do that. The only thing I didn't quite agree with was when Brian Orchards kind of touched on religion. And obviously, I said on the previous slide that my faith has had a lot to do with my beliefs and my values. And I thought it was really unfair to lump kind of like the masses in with what he was saying. But I can see where he's coming from. So I don't completely disagree with him. My reflection then, basically I'm going to use this. It's already kind of helped my reflection on what I'm doing in my classroom right now. And just really making sure that I know what my moral compass is and what my true north is. And then I really liked actually doing the slide on my moral compass and having to put that together because it really helped me just reflect on what I want to be as an educator and as an educational leader. So that really helped as well. I also know, like from this point going forward, that I think this would be kind of a cool activity to do with some of my students, especially some of my students um, who really struggle just as far as how to be as a person, or maybe I do have several students that I'm thinking of right now who don't necessarily have somebody looking out for them that would be able to help them establish values and beliefs and really like instill some of those in them. And so I think it'd be really cool to do some reflective pieces on this as well. And so I definitely think at least next year that I will probably do something like that with my kids. That concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for letting me share with you guys.